Hello, this is Zephyr Fleefedig, and I want to talk to you about filters for your DSLR camera. And I believe you can get filters for mirrorless too. What is a filter and why would you need it? Well, there's a few different things that filters can do. The very basic ones, for example, this UV one here. This is one of the smallest filters I've got. This is by KNF Concept, and this is a 52mm, and that is a UV filter. The lens size is important because even though you may have a different camera lens, it is the diameter of the lens that actually dictates what kind of filter you can put on it. If you have a screw-on filter like this one, that'll simply screw onto the lens. Otherwise you can get square filters, but they're a bit harder to mount and would take up a lot more space as well. But yeah, this is the smallest one I've got. So this is a 52mm and that is a UV filter. So the UV filters are really useful in terms of just having that like initial protection. So say if something would to impact the lens, obviously the lens itself is quite expensive, like the glass in front of the lens. Whereas with this actually costs, like, say, depending on what size you get, like between 15 to 20 quid. So for the price of that, it's a lot cheaper to replace this than it would be to like replace the glass on a lens, for example. Especially we're talking some lenses that can go upwards of like however many hundreds of pounds. So I would say, if you're going to get any filters, bare minimum try and get UV ones for every lens that you'd like take out, go to like events, go outdoors, etc. Because you want to have like a bit of basic protection. So that's what the UV one is useful for. And then over here, this is one of the largest filters I've got. So this is a polarizing filter, and this is a 67mm polarizing filter. So what does this do? Well, polarizing is for when say you're out and about with your camera, taking photos. It's a nice bright day. You try and angle your camera up so you can get a bit of sky. And what happens is, especially if your aperture is quite wide, so for example anything like 2.8 or lower, when you take that photo of the sky, you'd kind of expect it to come back blue, but because of the amount of light coming in, it'll actually just overwhelm the sensor and it'll overexpose things and it'll leave the sky looking white. So the solution to this, or one solution is, well, something else you can do is obviously close down the aperture, but that leads to other things. But if you have a polarizing filter, what that'll do is that'll actually, so you can see how it has a bit of like a kind of a diffusion kind of effect on it. So what it'll do is actually reflect some of those rays back. So what it'll do is actually limit the amount of those kind of like reflective rays coming through. So essentially what that'll do is it'll actually let you get to, you can still take great photos in daylight, the sky will come through blue and it'll be really good. Other things it'll help as well is to reduce reflections from water sources. And also, if you're trying to take photos through windows or through glass, it'll actually help with that because it'll actually remove the bounce back image that's coming through via a window. So that's what it's useful about that. So why don't we have a look at this one here? So this is a 77mm one. So it matches the Sigma lens that I'm currently recording on. Plus also, luckily, my other lens, which is a Tokina 11 to 16mm focus lens, actually also has 77, so I can actually use this on two lenses. So that's something to consider. If you have multiple lenses with the same diameter on the end of the lens, you can actually share lenses, which is pretty cool. So yeah, with this one here, why don't we open up and see what we have inside? So let's have a little look and see what we've got inside. It comes in with a nice little box. It comes with a nice little plastic case as well. So if you want to, you can either get like a lens bag or something, or you can get like a little protective thing. So if we have a look inside here, then we have the lens. So it comes in a little plastic bag, and you can see. So this is a 77mm polarizing. So you can see this is going to be larger than this one. So for example, you have to pick the right kind of diameter filter to go on your lens. Getting a smaller one won't work at all. If you want to get a larger one, there is a workaround. You can get, if you get the largest one possible, you can get step down adapters that will actually let you, say for example, if you've got a small lens, you can use a step down adapter and mount your existing filters on that. So that's something you can do as well. Just bear in mind, obviously, increase the diameter at the end of the lens as well, and at least other things. But generally speaking, you want to get like the right kind of filter for your lens. It does come with like a little cleaning cloth as well, so yeah, make sure you clean your lenses first before and after using filters. Just make sure there's nothing like under the filter that's going to cause problems. But yeah, that's a filter, and that is a quick little video about filters. So yeah, I highly recommend getting filters, especially polarizers if you spend a lot of time outdoors. The thing is with polarizers is that will actually reduce some of the light coming through. So when the weather changes, when it is no longer bright and shiny, then you may want to unscrew those, keep them in a bag, and then just use them for when it is sunny. But yeah, if you are in a place with a lot of sun, I highly do recommend polarizing. So again, with these, I think they're slightly more expensive than UV, but only like say like between like 15 to 20 quid, at least for these ones. Other thing is, if you're spending a lot of money on lenses, you're going to want some high quality filters. These ones are quite basic, but they are quite good as well. But yeah, do bear in mind if you spend, like say for example, if you spend a few £1000s on a lens, you want to get the suitable filter as well that will match that. So try and get a high quality one. Otherwise, you will kind of like let it down in terms of if you put a cheap filter on a great lens, you will lose a bit of quality. But yeah, that is a little quick video on filters. Hope you like it. And yeah, catch you soon for more awesome photography videos. Catch you on the next one.